welcome back to the show with Dave Burrows. Danny and I are here, but you know what? I'm gonna let Danny brag. He did make the what was it? The guess.
Little 96, little Voigt.
He called for the goal, but he ended up getting as the hockey people like to say, the apple. So he ended up getting the assist. So you know what? We're gonna let him have that. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Would you like to say anything to Mr. Voigt's family?
Hi, Mom.
Anyway, so hey, look at us go. We got Sarnia Sting with 16 shots and the battalion with 23 shots on net.
Yep.
That's starting to pick up for the battalion, but you can average about 10 shots a period. I think that's kind of your goal to what you want to do. Sting have to have a busy third period. What do you think?
Well, Sting came out pretty good in the first 10 minutes of the second period. The Sting actually played good hockey. They were drawing penalties on the battalion. They were playing excellent hockey, and then tables turned on them, and then the battalion came back, and they played their game, and they drew an extremely dumb penalty on the Sting part, and then boom, scored a power play goal, and now it's tied 1-1.
Yeah, I'm seeing North Bay in the last 5-6 minutes of that second period. I'm seeing North Bay putting a lot of pressure on Sarnia. They're starting to make a few more mistakes. What do you think the Sting, as far as how can we stop that?
Foolish penalties. Like that penalty right there may cost the game. They tied it up 1-1 because of that foolish. It had nothing to do with the play. It was after the play was already completed. Held on to the guy's stick. Got called for interference. Foolish. I can't even. It's just one of the dumbest penalties you can make. That costed them a goal.
It's bad. It was bad. North Bay this weekend, they were in Windsor. They had a 4-1 lead against Windsor. Windsor came back for the win. A very strong Windsor team. But when you think about that, North Bay can score and will score on you.
Yep.
So I think the Sting probably have to worry about a little bit of defense. But we're scoring in bunches. I think once they get a couple goals here, maybe they can open the floodgates. But we got to get our snipers going, I think.
Yeah, just if you can't dump and chase, just throw the puck of the net, get the stoppage of play in their zone, regroup and see what you can do on the face-off. But if you're just going to just dump and then skate off, and there's no, you're not putting any pressure on their goalie or their defense. They're just dumping and chasing, just skating away. They're not actually going after it and causing anxiety on the other team. They're just laid back.
Yeah, something that I noticed was, the lack of physicality during the game. I know they're trying to take a lot of it out of the game, especially the serious rough stuff. But what I'm finding is there's not a lot of checking. The checks aren't big. They're not really happening at all. Do you think that's part of the Stinger worried about that, or are they more of that run and gun? What we were saying in the part of the in the pregame show. Do you think they're not worried about the physicality of it, or just worried about their skating?
Personally, I'd rather see more aggressive hockey. As soon as you start headhunting, that has no business at all in hockey whatsoever. But you need to be rough. You have to grind out your players. You have to put them to their wits' end. You have to get past them. And if you don't get past them, you're not going to score any goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, with the cliches, you get back to the basics, you chip and chase, as they say, and with having such a high talented team, like a high scoring team and so talented, I think you're going to find that, the chances will come. I mean, we hit a post and a crossbar as well. So it could be three. Yeah, it could be 3 or 4-1 right now as well. Just the same, though, ifs and buts and candies and nuts, and it'll all be a Merry Christmas. Did I shut this off? Did I shut that off? I pushed that bottom button accidentally.
Check, baby.
No, we're good. Sorry about that. I thought I had a technical difficulty, but it was just a mental lapse. So anyway, and I'd like to thank you for staying tuned for that. But no, so I think basically, you get back to the basics, you play the game the way it is. We're talented enough to be in this game. We could or should be winning the game if we get back to how we're used to playing.
Yeah, shots are in favor now of the North Bay, 23-16. Like I said, you have to shoot the puck on the net. Even if you just lob it at the net and get a stoppage of play, that way you could regroup, focus on what the task is at hand at that particular moment of the game, and let her rip.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up this week for the Sting on Wednesday, they have a breakfast meeting with the Flint Firebirds. I believe puck drops at like 11 a.m. So, what are your thoughts of that early puck drop?
Kevin, can I leave work early?
Hey, Kevin, can you leave work early? Yeah, but you got to go all the way to Flint. It's only an hour. It's not that bad. Last few years when they've had these early games, the Sting kind of come out a little soft on that. So I wonder if the organization's going to say, hey, why don't we go spend the night there and wake up in Flint instead of waking the boys up too early or whatever, so they can get over. You got to think most of these teams show up 2 hours before a game, get their warm-ups in. So you're 11 o'clock, you're leaving at 8. I know for me and you that's not early. For teenage boys it is. So, it's going to be something that they got to look forward to. And then just having another game in a couple days, and then they go to Mississauga.
Mississauga will be a good game. Mississauga's got a decent squad. They seem to have their heads screwed on straight, I guess, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah. It's tough spreading those games out. The Sting only had two games this weekend where North Bay played 3. But, with having that, you have the 2 games this weekend, a couple days off, then Wednesday, a couple days off, then Mississauga, and then 1 day off, and you get Sunday. So that's kind of stretches that week out a little bit, and that's a lot of hockey in a short time.
How did they get this schoolwork done?
On the bus. They have tutors and everything, obviously, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right. It makes you think, from a league standpoint, how they push schooling is very important, which it is. But to have these early games, I'm sure it's some sort of charity or type game. Actually, I think someone was mumbling over where I was standing during the second period, and they were mumbling something about that it's like all these students are coming to the game. It's like a student outing for them, so that's their entertainment. Yeah. So you know what? I support that. Obviously, I think it's great for the kids, and it's great for the sport of hockey to introduce it to more and more people. So hopefully the Sting can go down and beat Flint. Big game. I think they're only 4 points out of the standings from them, so that'll be a huge game. Whether we're depending on the outcome today and whatever's going on outside with everybody else playing, it'll be a huge game on Wednesday.
Well, if the Sting want to beat Flint, they're going to have to be a lot hungrier than what they look like today. I know they say you base your, like, for example, when you're golfing and you're golfing with not so skilled golfers, you tend to not golf well. But when you're golfing with better people, you tend to golf better. Kind of the same thing applies to hockey. When you're playing a better team, you step up your game a little bit more. You try it harder. Either that or you get completely embarrassed. So hopefully the Sting, they show up to that game with, bells and whistles on and ready to play some good hockey.
Absolutely. And I mean, I totally agree with you. You play to the ability of your opponent. If you ever want to go golfing, I suck. So if you don't want to hurt your game, don't ask me. But that being said, we got 5 minutes. The 5-minute horn just went off.
Yep.
It looks like Jason's getting irritated with us talking and rambling on so much. He's not really, actually. But I think that's our report from the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. On behalf of myself and Danny, and of course, David Burrows, thanks so much for joining us and hanging in there. And please don't judge David for letting us play. Other than that, thank you, Danny. I really appreciate you being here. And it's been a great time.
Good